Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies with your host, Jason Marshall.
Hey everybody, thanks for downloading the show and welcome to the final episode of 2018 on the final day of 2018. I was going to have a couple of people on today, but I decided I just wanted to do a solo show instead, so this will probably be quicker than a usual episode, but since it's New Year's Eve, I think that's okay. If you celebrated Christmas, I hope you had a good one last week. I mentioned before how my wife and kids think it's funny to get me crazy shirts and stuff like that as prank gifts. This year, they got me a Christmas-themed cat onesie. It was all Christmas colors, and it had little round circles with cats' faces on it wearing Santa hats. The best part was it had Christmas lights on it, so you could turn them on or off. And, of course, I immediately put it on, and I'm not sure if my wife has a video of me doing this or not. If she does, I'll post it on the Facebook page, facebook.com/WeDon'tHaveCookies. Give it a like if you haven't already. But I start singing, "Oh, Christmas me, oh, Christmas me, I'm wearing a cat onesie." I really hope she has that video because I know there was more to it than just that. But it was a lot of fun. She gave that to me on Christmas Eve. So on Christmas, after we open our presents, my wife and kids, they go to meet up with my mother-in-law to make Christmas dinner for her side of the family. They go to this really big church. It has a kitchen and dining area and stuff like that. So they reserve it for the holidays, and the women get there early and start making the meal. And when I show up, I came in through the kitchen door, and I'm wearing the cat onesie and a Santa hat. Everybody was cracking up. I'm hugging people, wishing them a meowy Christmas. I thought it was really funny. Everybody was laughing except for two people, and those two people were my daughters, who were completely embarrassed. My oldest one refused to acknowledge that I was even there, and my youngest one turned really red and ran out of the room. I had clothes on underneath it, so I just took it off and everything was fine. It wasn't like I spent the next 4 hours just wandering around in a cat onesie, but I don't know. I got one more prank gift. I love playing Uno, and we play it as a family. And when we do, I'm really annoying. I like to make sounds when I lay cards down or when I draw. Like I'll lay a card down and I'll go or pick something up and just make a different noise. But when you get down to one card, you're supposed to say Uno. That's the name of the game. But I always think it's funny when I get down to two, I yell dos. Apparently, a lot of people must do that because Mattel, the people who own Uno, has come out with a card game called Dos. It's a little complicated, but it's fun. And we've been playing a lot of card games lately. It's nice to have some family time, especially around the holidays. Speaking of family time, my sister and my father-in-law saw the house for the first time since we moved in last week. It was nice to have them over. We really don't see each other very often. My father-in-law seemed to really like the place. I think he was like a lot of people who wondered why it took so long to move in, but once he checked the house out, I think he understood, and it was worth the wait. So it was nice to have him be able to see the place and see all the work that I've done. Speaking of around my house, there has been a lot of weird stuff going on in my neighborhood that I want to talk about. And while I'm still talking about holiday stuff, I'll start with my neighbor mowing his grass on Christmas Eve. We live in Ohio. I quit mowing my grass in October. It's cold outside. So why would you want to mow your grass in the wintertime? Just assuming it had something to do with getting rid of the leaves or chopping them up, something like that. I doubt it had too much to do with the grass actually needing cut, but the leaves have been off the trees for a while. Couldn't you have done that before Christmas Eve? I know it has nothing to do with me. It doesn't affect my life whatsoever. I just thought it was kind of weird. I like that neighbor, though. To be honest, I pretty much like all of my neighbors except for the guy who lives across the road. And speaking of crossing the road, why did the chicken cross the road? Because my neighbor doesn't take care of them. Chickens are always in my yard and everybody else's. It's just problems that you get living in the country, I guess. But they kick mulch out of my flower beds, mess up my flowers, poop on my porch. They drive my cat crazy. It's insane. He uses the excuse that they're free-range chickens, but I'm pretty sure free-range cows are still confined to a fenced-in place. Might be a 68-acre farm, but they're fenced in, and he even has a fenced-in area by the chicken coop for them, but he doesn't use it. I think he's just too lazy to put them in the fenced-in area. The guy still has a plastic pumpkin on his porch from Halloween. I gave him a pass since the pumpkin has something to do with Thanksgiving. You know, you can always just turn it around so the jack-o'-lantern face isn't facing the street. But when he put up Christmas lights around it, I mean, how are you going to put up Christmas lights and not move the pumpkin? Comedian Derek Carter was on the show a few weeks ago, and he does this thing where he poses near Christmas decorations after Christmas. And he takes selfies or videos with it, and he goes, and we're still celebrating Christmas. I thought about doing a video and sitting at the hip of my neighbor's porch behind me where the pumpkin is and saying, and we're still celebrating Halloween. Anyway, I thought maybe I was just being overly sensitive about the chickens, but apparently the other neighbors, they hate them too, and they do stuff to their yards, but I'm worried if something happens to the chickens that the guy's going to think that I did it. And I'll explain why, but I have to tell you about this to do that. Every time I see the guy, he would mention that he's going to be tearing down this decrepit old house that's on his property. And I've never thought much about it because it's been there my whole life. I never really notice it now because, like I said, it's just something that's always been there. I don't even think about it. But I thought it was weird that he would bring it up out of nowhere every time that we talked, and he quit letting his kid come over to play with my daughter, and I thought that was a little odd too. And also he would mention that he has family that work for the county or something like that, and they help him out, and I didn't understand why he would tell me about that either. I don't care. But one of my neighbors stopped by one day to get permission to hunt on my property, and he told me that somebody called the county on the guy next door to me for having so much trash in his backyard and for the old house being a safety hazard. Because he's got a pile of mattresses and a bunch of old boats and stuff around the property line. I had no idea anybody complained to the county, but I think the guy next door thinks I'm the one who did it, and that's why he keeps bringing up the old house. The person who did complain to the county actually told me that they were the one who did it a few weeks ago, and he's not going to stop anytime soon. So there's some weird tension in the neighborhood now. And on top of that, I was playing cards with my wife and kids the other day, and my wife says, hey, somebody just pulled in the driveway. And I look outside, and there's a tractor in the driveway, which is kind of, I don't know, it seemed weird. I'm not used to people coming over in tractors, but I met the guy driving it a couple of weeks ago when he came by to get a dead branch out of my tree. He was driving by and saw me outside picking up sticks. We had this big windstorm, and there was a branch in a tree that didn't come down, and he was nice enough to go up and knock it down with this bulldozer attachment thing that he had on his tractor. So anyway, I go outside and I talk to him, and he asks if somebody's hunting in the woods next to my house. And I said, yeah. And he told me that they weren't allowed to hunt there. And I told him that I own the woods next to the house. And he kind of went back and forth with me about how he's looked up the property lines on hunting websites and that belongs to somebody else. And I said, well, I've owned it for, God, I don't know how many years now, like 2010 or something like that. And it was kind of funny because he came over to tell on somebody for trespassing and hunting on somebody else's property. And he found out that he's actually been doing that for the last 7 years. So it was an honest mistake on his part, though. And I couldn't care less. But the funniest part is the person he was complaining about is the neighbor who asked for permission to hunt on my land. And the only reason that guy asked permission to hunt on my land was to annoy the guy who came over to tell on him. So his plan worked. I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to play a song, and I'm going to dedicate that song to my neighbor's chickens, and I'll be right back.
I once was a happy man of sound and stable mind. Then my neighbor bought a dog. He put a ribbon on its head to make it cute, but it still looked like a chihuahua. He had me over to watch it sit and beg. It bit my knee and made love to my leg. Now it barks all the night and all of the day, whenever it's not peeing on my lawn. I didn't get to sleep last night till very late. The stupid dog barked and gurred. I got up late for work and ran to catch the bus, but I slipped on a turd. I was certain it wasn't one of mine, and that dog had crossed over the line. Wanted to exterminate it and all its kind from my lovely little suburb. I'm gonna kill the dog next door, ain't gonna bark anymore, 'cause this is Judgment Day and the little runt has got to pay. No more turds on my lawn, that stupid mutt will soon be gone. Gonna kill that dog. I see the little monster in my garden, so I grab an axe and off I go, and I try my best to get it. All I do is sever my big toe. My neighbor comes outside to call me. He says his dog and me should just be friends. He puts his little pet in my forgiving hands. Then it starts to bite, so I strangle it with all my might. Oh, 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 oh. I'm gonna kill the dog next door, ain't gonna bark anymore, 'cause this is Judgment Day and the little runt has got to pay. No more turds on my lawn, that stupid mutt will soon be gone. Gonna kill that dog. Now the stupid mutt's in doggy heaven. I strangled it to death and now I'm free. But my trouble ain't quite over. My neighbor called the cops on me. I end up at the police station, where I am told that I must pay a $300 fine. Wow, what a good value. I think I'll kill my neighbor too. Oh, 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 oh. I'm gonna kill the guy next door. Won't call the cops anymore. I never liked him anyway. 300 isn't much to pay. There are turds on my lawn. They must be his dog is gone. Gonna kill that guy.
Want to contact the show? Send an email to jason@wedon'thavecookies.com or call 929-266-9342 and leave a voicemail.
I'd love to hear from you. It always makes my day, and I try to reply to everybody. I probably should have said this in the very beginning of the show, but I want to thank everybody who sent me a message to wish me a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I couldn't believe how many of you guys did that. I heard from a lot of you that I hadn't heard from before, and taking time out of your day to send me something like that meant a lot to me. So, just want to put that out there. I was also really surprised by the video game Red Dead Redemption 2. I just finished the first part of the game. I won't spoil it in case you're playing it, but I was really impressed in how much they drew me in. I hope that Red Dead Redemption 3 won't take as long to come out as number 2 did. That sounded like a poop joke. I swear it wasn't. I still have more of the game to play, but I'm already trying to figure out what to play next. I have a lot to choose from. I have the entire Halo series to go through. I haven't played any of those before, but I've always heard good things. The same with the Tomb Raider games for Xbox One. I have the last 2 Far Cry games to play. I have some others that I got for Christmas too, so I have a lot of gaming to do. I'm also backed up on my DVR. I just noticed that just yesterday, I have stuff on there that goes back to the beginning of July. And at this point, I should probably just delete it, but I want to try to watch it sometime. There's a reason I recorded it. Like, I still need to watch the last few episodes of Fear the Walking Dead. I made it all the way through the season to the last 3 and just haven't went back. And after all these years, I'm not sure how to feel about that show. Sometimes I really like it. Other times I wonder why I'm watching it. But last season has been really probably the best one so far, in my opinion. That's why I kept watching it. But I gave up on The Walking Dead. I tried to watch after Rick Grimes died, but just couldn't get into it. They tried to get too cutesy with the Judith character, and it's just not for me anymore. But I'm really excited about the new season of 30 Days In on A&E this Thursday, and the return of Live PD this Friday and Saturday, same channel. I never miss Live PD. That show is nuts. I might get behind on stuff on my DVR, but that show is not one of them. I still haven't watched the season finale of Survivor from a couple of weeks ago, but I'll be damned if I miss Live PD. I never thought it'd be something I'd be into, but I'd have to say it's my favorite show. And if you haven't watched it, you need to give it a chance. You have no clue what's going to happen on there. Like one day there was a 15-year-old who stole a school bus from a church and was just driving it down the road, hitting guardrails, trying to flip it. The next episode, there's a guy in Walmart just pooping next to a pop machine. I think that's why I like it so much. It's really, really unpredictable. I was thinking about this the other day when I was looking through my DVR. When did I start watching so much reality TV? I don't watch the fake reality TV stuff like Keeping Up with the Kardashians and Vanderpump Rules, where all the stuff is staged just for TV. But I do watch a lot of shows like Live PD, 60 Days In, Survivor, stuff like that. Even things like Impractical Jokers or Big Brother, where a lot of the cut scenes are scripted for TV, but for the most part, it's real people reacting to things. Just seems to be the only kind of shows I watch now. And I never even noticed till the other day. So kind of odd. I don't know if that's just a trend with other people or if that's just me. I think I'm going to wind things down, but I hope you guys have a happy new year. If you have any resolutions, let me know. I know a lot of people make fun of New Year's resolutions, but I like to make them. You can make plans to change things at any point in your life and starting anytime you want, but January 1st seems like a really good time to do it, so that's why I always make New Year's resolutions. The longest one that I've ever made was in New Year's 2000. I said I quit drinking soda, and I stuck to it till some point in 2015, and that's the longest one I've ever had. Can't imagine ever beating that record, but I got a couple of them for this year. I'm going to try to get back into shape. That's a big one. Going to try to be more positive and less stressed. And the last one is to do more things with this podcast to make it even better in 2019. So if you have any New Year's resolutions of your own or stories about them, send me an email, jason@wedon'thavecookies.com, or call 929-266-WDHC. That's 929-266-9342, and leave me a voicemail to play on the show. I hope one of your resolutions is to spread the word about the podcast in 2019. I want to see how far we can take this thing. I'm going to be bringing in some really good guests. Some of them are favorites from the past, and others I'm going to be bringing on for the first time ever. Plus, I'm going to be making a few changes to the show. Nothing life-changing. You're not going to tune in next week and feel like you're listening to a completely different show or anything like that. But I'm going to be adding a few new things to the podcast, and I hope you like them, and I hope it gives you a reason to get the word out. Speaking of that, I want to thank everybody who liked the Facebook post or the tweet about the last episode. That helps more than you know. I also want to give a shout out to the awesome Aussie Chris Doyle for sharing the podcast with the members of his Facebook group. That's exactly what I like to see. Thank you very much. And please check out his Facebook group, Pro Wrestling Book Collectors. It's a great group. Make sure you check that out. Give him some love. He also joined the We Don't Have Cookies family on the Yahtzee app. If you're playing Yahtzee, they have these things called families. Just do a search for We Don't Have Cookies podcast. There's only a few spots left. So if you want to, make sure you hurry and do it. And if all the spots are full and you want to join, just send me an email. Let me know what your username is. And if there's somebody inactive in the group, I'll boot them out and open up a spot for you. Also, if you've already joined, send me a message so I don't accidentally give your spot away, and I'll give you a shout out on the show. I think that does it for this episode. I want to thank all of you for listening and making 2018 so much fun. We're going to have even more fun in 2019 starting next Monday. I'll talk to you then.
Thanks for listening. Tell your friends about the show and leave a review. See you next time.